He's the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. He's Warren Buffett joining us on the show. Warren, how are you today?
Hi, Dan. How are you? And Peyton, hike.
Are you a Bronco fan?
Well, I am a Broncos fan. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to watching this game, and it's going to be a terrific game.
Where will you watch the Super Bowl?
Well, this year I'm going to be out in California, actually visiting my friend Bill Gates. So I'll probably watch it from out there.
All right, we wanted to know over under how many TVs in your house, and I set it at 3.5.
That's a good. Let's see. There are 4 TVs in the house. No, there's 5 TVs in the house.
Do you have a man cave?
But I just watch one of them.
Do you have a man cave?
Do I have a what?
A man cave where you kind of.
Oh yeah, sure. I very seldom move. You mentioned my house. I've been in that house 55 years now, Dan, and I paid $31,500 for it.
How would you describe your house to people who will never get that opportunity to go in the neighborhood?
It's a big, comfortable house that was built around 1920, and it's not in the most fashionable section of Omaha, but it's it's a neighborhood where we know the neighbors. The woman to the east of me brings me over cherry pies, and no, it's a terrific neighborhood. And my kids went to the same school that my wife went to. They went to the same high school that my dad went to and my wife went to, and my children have gone there. I mean, there's a lot of it's a good place to live.
I love that. Who would you pay to have lunch with?
Who would I pay to have lunch with? Well, do you think Sophia Loren is available?
I can make her
my age.
Yeah, I can make her available, I think, for you.
Yeah.
But people pay to have lunch with you. What would they get out of that, other than to say they had lunch with you? But what are they wanting from you?
Well, we have this charity lunch every year, and they've come from China and different places. They talk about investments to some degree, but they talk about family a lot too. And they some of them are fairly wealthy, and they want to know, how'd you raise your kids, and that's all that sort of thing. They talk about whatever they want to because they're paying for the lunch.
What's the biggest mistake we make when it comes to money?
Well, I think the biggest mistake is not learning the habits of saving probably early, because saving is a habit, and then trying to get rich quick. I mean, it's pretty easy to get well-to-do slowly, but it's not easy to get rich quick.
I saw, what you were doing with March Madness, and it kind of, I wasn't sure where it came from. That you say you're going to give $1 billion to somebody who goes perfect in the bracket.
Yeah.
How did what was the genesis for this?
Well, I was in Detroit on another matter, and Dan Gilbert, who runs Quicken Loans, and who's a big enthusiast for Detroit, had said, if you come up, I'd like to give you a tour. So after we finished the other affair, Dan and I went around downtown Detroit for a few hours, and toward the end of it, I mentioned that we'd thought about insuring a winner for March Madness and with $1 billion prize, and he got interested. So I told him, I gave him a quote as to what we would charge, and a couple of months later, he came back and said, "Let's go with it." So Quicken is the sponsor, and we're the insurer.
But why? What are you looking for with this?
Well, I'm writing an insurance policy. Quicken Loans, I'm sure, is looking to get lots of national exposure, and get millions and millions of people who enter and who become familiar with them. And I'm looking to either earn a profit for my premium or to pay out $1 billion. And I don't think you'd need to ask me which one I hope happens.
Is there a sports league that you think you never bought a team?
No, when I was a kid, I thought if I ever made a lot of money, I would go out and buy a team. I was a water boy for the Washington Redskins for 2 games, and I lived in Washington at the time. And I thought if I ever had a lot of money, I'd buy the Washington Redskins. And
they want you to buy it. They would love for you to buy it right now, Warren.
I think Dan Snyder. I don't know whether he would sell, but Sammy Ball was my hero in those days. That's well before your time. But it was the dream of every kid to have a sports. It was the dream of every kid to be a sports star. But of course, I never had a chance at that.
But is it still a good investment, sports teams?
Well, they seem to go up. They're kind of like art. I mean, they go up in value because there's just a lot of rich people that want to own one, and there's more rich people than there are teams, so they compete for them. Some of them don't make much money, as you know, but there's if you got a lot of money, what are you going to do with it? Some people buy art, and some people buy houses, some people buy boats. I invest, but I'm different.
Our poll question is: I asked the audience, would they rather hang out with Warren Buffett or Jimmy Buffett? And McLovin, update the poll results for Warren.
It's 50-50 right now.
50-50 there of hanging with you. I said Jimmy Buffett. But
I don't blame you.
Yeah, but I've been to Jimmy's place, Margaritaville in New Orleans, and I sort of know Jimmy likes to have a little bit of fun. Have you hung out with Jimmy Buffett?
Oh yeah, Jimmy and I are. When we started out, he wanted to be in my will, but he's made so much money, I want to be in his will now.
And Warren, before I let you go, we do have Omaha shirts that are for Peyton Manning's Cadence that in the shape of Nebraska. I'd be more than happy to send out a couple of Omaha shirts to you.
I'd love to have that, and why don't you come out here and we'll go one-on-one.
You're challenging me.
Absolutely, not for $1 billion.
Oh no! How much have you ever bet? What's the most Warren Buffett has ever put on a sporting event?
Well, this will be the biggest. This is our insurance company, of course, that's doing this. But we had $1 billion prize on a PepsiCo contest about 8 or 10 years ago.
But what about you personally?
Have you personally?
Ever? Yeah.
I'm not a big bettor. No, I will. If you want to send me your picks, incidentally, in March, I'll put mine against yours for $5. How's that?
That is high stakes. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll be in your bracket contest if you'll be in my bracket contest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Will you do that for $5?
For $5.
Okay, and I'm going to throw in a couple of Omaha T-shirts for free.
I accept. I accept gifts. I mean, feel free.
Well, that's what happens. Warren, guys who have all the money never have money on them and don't have to spend money.
You've got it figured out.
How much do you have in your wallet right now?
Well, right now I probably got about $200.
Oh, yeah. So you.
But I'll tell you this: at the end of the day, I'll have $200
too. We'll send the T-shirts out, and we'll look forward to March Madness. And again, Warren, thank you for joining us.
Okay, it's great to be there.
All right.
Okay.
Warren Buffett, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway.